for prose writers, because I've tried to write prose, but they're like this very small, like hint fiction kind of thing, and I want to develop that. But it was Ann Carson, the poet and essayist, who said, "If prose is a house, poetry is a man on fire running very fast through it." Just wanted to share that.
That's a good analogy. Thank you, Vivi. Actually, this question is for Aminur. You work predominantly in Bangla, and you've had your work translated into so many languages. Do you feel that the poems still retain their original essence in translation, or have you actually given birth to like a multitude of new poems in multitude of languages?
Yeah, this is actually vital questions from the translator. I did also translation. I have a big book of 400 pages book of translations. And I believe, as a translator, better to write a new poem than to translate a poem. So it is really tough. It's really tough. But what your question is, whether the meaning will be same or not. It is a challenge. Because in maximum cases, we are translating from the English. And English, sometimes when the original language, say Arabic to English, then Bangla or some other languages. So Spanish to English, English to other languages. So in between, when it is transformed to English, that translation has to be very good, first thing. If it is the medium is in between. If you can do it directly from the language, means say Sinhala is to any other language. So that is the best. So what I did, one of my friend translator, Sudip Sen, I think you know a few of them, few of you. Sudip knows little Bangla. So by translation, when we did, we just sit together and it will be best. And sometimes when I do my translation, I know all of them, means my known poets. So really we want to, because of the transformation of one language, because of English is there. I don't know the German, like Erroneous, but I know the poets. So when it is, I struggled with translation, so directly I just talk to them directly.
Do you try to find out when it's translated into another language whether it actually means?
But it is really difficult, and maximum cases the result is from the in-between language, it is not good. But sometimes bad poetry also in a translation it be a good poem. So it happened to me also.
Ronya, would you like to shed light on that? Because your work has also been translated into.
Yes, the prose, but the poetry, there was the one project where English, as poets from the US and poets from Germany, they translated each other, and it was more not a translation, more like to make a new poem again somehow. So because I think translating poetry is totally different from translating prose, because you need to rewrite the poem somehow in your own language, and you need to, you have so many layers. You need to sacrifice. You have the rhythm. You need to sacrifice, or you have the meaning. You have maybe a sacrifice, or you have the sound somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you said sacrifice. So you do feel that there is some part of that essence of what you first wrote that is missing in translation. It's lost in translation somewhere.
But you could also win something. So,
I suppose. Vivi, you also translated something very recently. You had a book of Sinhalese poems translated.
Yes, right? I translated from Sinhala to English. Yeah, I think that that famous saying that it's impossible to translate poetry has some kind of truth in it. I think it's like a process of transcreation rather than translation. But there are ways and means that you can compensate for what is lost. That was like a whole new experience. And the original writer really liked it, so I felt that was okay.
Do you all feel that there is, because you work across languages, is one language more poetic than the other? Does the language itself have?
Can I?
Any of
I don't know, but I feel that Sinhala for me is a far more beautiful language to write poetry in, because it has such a rich vocabulary. It has a separate kind of language for poetry, and it has the way that the nuances can be expressed is just amazing. And it takes me back to the fact that I'm really sad that I can't write original
in
poetry
English.
in Sinhala.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, Megha, then actually some language is lyrical.
Yeah.
Say Sinhala, she said that. And Bangla is also lyrical. And then Arabic also very lyrical. Urdu is lyrical. But if you just go to Mongolia, so when you read the poem, it is really beautiful. But when you hear, it is really something, your ear will not
Sound is not
sound
as-
is, yeah. Even in Malay, Bahasa Malay. So when you read the poems, it's nice. But when you just hear the poem, it is actually strike your ear. So yeah, but poems is obviously is very sweet. All of the languages. If I can understand each and every language, that will be the best. But it is not possible. But yeah, it is beautiful. But another thing, I'm just adding your translation questions.
Yeah.
Particularly, say sonnets or the rhythm or it is really difficult to translate to other languages. And maximum cases it is not successful. So that's why those translators, I'm actually trying to avoid the lyrical, particularly sonnets and others, to transform to our language or other language. So it's very difficult.
I'm sure there'll be budding writers